Before we dive into this, let me tell you something that will leave you speechless. What if I told you that the Bible, the most widely read book in the world, has two creation stories? Yes, you heard that right. Two completely different accounts of how everything, yes, everything came into existence. But here's the real shocker. They aren't just different. They hold secrets that have been buried for centuries. Why are they there? What truth is hidden behind these two stories? You might have wondered, why would the Bible present two creation stories that seem to contradict each other? Is there something deeper that has been deliberately kept from us? Here's the secret that's waiting to be uncovered. The two creation stories in Genesis are not contradictions. They are profound revelations of God's nature. One reveals his immense power and cosmic order, and the other exposes his deep, intimate relationship with mankind. Together, these stories tell us more about God than we've been led to believe. In this video, we will reveal the deeper meaning behind these creation accounts. Get ready to explore why Genesis 1 and Genesis 2 exist side by side and what they mean for your relationship with the Creator. You'll finally understand why the order, the method, and even the name of God matter, and how both accounts reveal more about God's plan for humanity than you ever imagined. Brace yourself for a mind-blowing journey where ancient secrets unfold before your eyes. It's time to stop seeing these stories as contradictions and start seeing them as part of a divine strategy. You'll never look at the Bible the same way again. So, let's dive in together, because this is about to change everything you thought you knew about creation. Comment below if you've ever wondered about the two creation stories, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more shocking revelations. Why do the two creation stories exist? What's the real story behind these accounts? Let's start with a question that might leave you thinking long after you hear it. Why are there two different creation stories in Genesis? Have you ever paused and thought, does this mean there's something more here than just a simple contradiction? The truth is, these two stories hold the keys to understanding the deepest parts of God's nature and his plan for humanity. Genesis 1 paints a picture of a powerful, mighty creator who speaks the world into existence, bringing order to chaos. Elohim, the name used in this account, reflects the transcendent, supreme power of God. He commands, and the universe responds, light appears, the sky takes form, and life begins to unfold in divine order. It's like a grand orchestra, with each moment perfectly timed, a masterpiece being crafted with every spoken word. Can you feel the immense power behind those words? And then Genesis 2 comes in with a shock to the system. It's not just the creation of the universe we're dealing with here. This is about God's deep personal involvement in the world. He forms man from the dust of the earth. Yes, from the very soil beneath our feet. The intimate act of God breathing life into Adam shows us something extraordinary. God cares. The Creator is not far off, waiting to command. He's right there, in the dirt, shaping the first human with his hands, breathing his life into them. This is no longer about an all-powerful creator from a distance. This is about a God who is near, who desires an intimate relationship with his creation. Have you ever thought about it like that? That God isn't just creating from afar. He's involved, deeply, personally, intimately. Now, here's where it gets even more fascinating. These two stories, though seemingly different, are not contradictory. They are complementary. One tells us about God's grandeur, his power, and the universe he controls. The other tells us about his closeness to us, his deep, personal involvement in our lives. The two accounts together form a complete picture of a creator who is both transcendent and immanent. A God who holds the universe in his hands and yet walks with us in the garden, cares for us, and desires our relationship. In this tension we find the most beautiful truth about the nature of God. He is not just an impersonal force. He is not a distant deity who sits far above us, untouched by our lives. He is the Lord of the universe, who stoops down, breathes life into us, and walks with us through every moment of life. This dual picture of a God who is both far and near captures the heart of who God is and why we matter to him. Think about the relationships in your life. How often do you find yourself struggling to reconcile the big picture with the personal, intimate moments? It's the same with God. In one moment, he may feel like an overwhelming force, so vast and mighty that you can't help but stand in awe. And in another, he feels as close as your heartbeat, ready to listen to your deepest worries and share in your joy. When you begin to understand this tension between transcendence and intimacy, you start to grasp the full depth of what these two stories are saying. God is both mighty and near, infinite and personal, the creator of the universe, and the breath in your lungs. And that's the message you need to hold on to. The God of Genesis is not just a creator of worlds, he's the creator of you. He doesn't just see you from a distance. He is in the dirt of your life, ready to breathe life into your moments, ready to form something beautiful out of the dust you feel trapped in. So, why does this matter to you? Because your story matters to God. Just as he breathed life into Adam, he desires to breathe life into you. Whatever you're facing, whatever you're walking through right now, he's not far away. He's not some distant ruler sitting on a throne. He is here. He is with you. He is walking with you. And that brings us to something even deeper. These two creation stories offer us a tension that we live out in our own lives every day. There are moments when life feels overwhelming, when the universe feels like it's spinning out of control, and we can feel small, insignificant, and lost. But then there are other moments, the quiet ones, the intimate ones, when we know we are deeply loved, when we feel God's presence near, guiding us, breathing life into us. This is the dance between Genesis 1 and Genesis 2, the grand, powerful, cosmic reality of a creator who formed the world, and the personal, intimate touch of a God who formed you. This is a truth that brings healing. It's a truth that reminds you that God is not just above you, but with you. Every step, every breath, every moment, God is there, forming, shaping, breathing life into your story. So what does this teach us? It teaches us that God's relationship with us is not one-dimensional. He is not just our creator, but our partner, our helper. He is not distant, but close. And in this tension, we find the healing that we long for. When you feel alone, remember, the God who created the universe is also the God who walks with you through it. This is where the healing begins. Let this truth sink in deeply. You are not just part of a grand, impersonal cosmic plan. You are part of a deeply personal, intimate relationship with the creator of the universe. And he wants to walk with you every step of the way. So, why does it matter that these two creation stories are together? Because they show us the truth about God's nature. They show us that he is both transcendent and immanent, both great and near. And in that, we find our place in his story. We are both created by him and created for him. Our story is not one of randomness. It's one of divine purpose, divine love, and divine care. And now, we turn the page, ready to explore how this revelation transforms everything we know about our place in creation and our relationship with the Creator himself. The biblical strategy behind two creation accounts. Let's get real. What if the reason these two creation stories exist is not because of some contradiction, but because there's a deeper strategy behind them? Imagine if the Bible was crafted to show us that God is not just a God of power, He is a God of purpose. These two creation stories are not accidents. They're divine poetry, each telling us something profound about our existence, about the world, but also about you. Genesis 1 shows us the powerful, majestic, all-encompassing creator of the universe. Yet, Genesis 2 pulls back the veil, revealing the tender, personal creator who stoops down to touch the earth He formed, and in doing so, He forms you. You see, these stories aren't just there to explain how the universe came to be, they are there to show us who we are in relation to God. What if the contradictions weren't meant to confuse us, but to help us find the balance between the grandeur of a universe that was designed with perfection and the intimacy of a creator who desires personal relationship with his creation? Isn't that beautiful? The creator who is greater than all things, but who still cares about every breath you take, every step you make. These two stories show us a God who is both beyond the stars and yet right here by your side, holding your hand through every challenge. When we look at Genesis 1 and Genesis 2, we see a theological masterpiece that draws us in, urging us to consider both the power and the personal aspects of God's love. This isn't just some ancient tale of creation. This is a story of God's relentless love for humanity. And through these two stories, God reveals His nature in ways that we, as His children, are meant to grasp with all our hearts. He is infinite, and He is near. He is powerful, and He is personal. Do you understand the gravity of this? God created the cosmos with a word, yet He bends down to lift us up. He doesn't just rule the stars, He rules in your heart. This, my friend, is the essence of divine love. The history behind these two accounts, the source of the stories. But here's the thing. How did these two stories come to be in the Bible? Were they just added by accident? Was there confusion between two separate traditions? Or was this all a deliberate decision to show us something deeper about God? The answer lies in what scholars call the documentary hypothesis, which suggests that the Pentateuch, the first 5 books of the Bible, is a compilation of different sources, shaped and woven together over time. What if these two creation stories were brought together deliberately, reflecting different aspects of God's nature? Could it be that one account focuses on the cosmic, transcendent nature of God, while the other brings us into a more personal, intimate space with Him? Genesis 1 is often linked with the priestly source, a tradition that emphasizes God's transcendence and supreme authority. On the other hand, Genesis 2 is connected to the Yahwist source, which focuses on the more personal, relational side of God, where God speaks directly to Adam and Eve, walking with them in the garden. Isn't it incredible to think that the Bible was compiled in such a way that each story, each source, works together to reveal the fullness of God? Think about it. One account speaks of the power of God, and the other speaks of His presence with us. Both are essential for our understanding of the God who created the heavens and the earth, and the God who creates a personal relationship with us. You can't have one without the other. A God who is all-powerful yet distant would leave us feeling insignificant, but a God who is close yet powerless would not be a God worth following. The combination of both stories shows us a God who is both sovereign and intimate. He rules with power, but He also loves with tenderness. Retaining both accounts, a divine design for understanding God. The Bible editors didn't accidentally leave both stories in the text. They wanted us to see both sides of who God is. One God, two aspects, His omnipotence and His nearness. In this tension lies the beauty of the Creator. Imagine a God so powerful that He spoke the world into existence, yet so loving that He came down to our level, so personal that He breathed life into our lungs, and so relational that he still desires to walk with us today. Both accounts show us that God is not a distant creator who only gives orders from far off, but a personal God who is involved in the very details of our lives. Genesis chapter 1 shows us the cosmic plan, the order of the universe, and the power of God to command all things into being. But Genesis 2 goes deeper, showing us the intimate relationship God wants to have with us. Think of how God breathes life into Adam, how he creates Eve to be his partner, a helper, someone to share this journey with. This isn't about a powerful creator who remains far away. This is about God creating a world to be enjoyed, shared, and lived in together. God didn't just create the earth and then walk away. He created us, shaped us, and placed us in a world where he can walk with us, guide us, and build something beautiful through us. And that's exactly what he wants to do with your life. You are not an accident. You are not a mistake. You were created with purpose, with power, and with the personal love of a creator who has never once abandoned you. Just like Genesis 1 and Genesis 2, your story has both grand moments and intimate moments. God has designed your life to be a balance between the awe-inspiring moments when he reveals his power and presence, and the personal, heart-touching moments when he shows you that he's here, right beside you, guiding you every step of the way. This is why the two accounts matter. Because in those pages, we find who God is and who we are in his eyes, retaining both accounts. The powerful divine design. You've seen it, you've heard it. The confusion that arises when you first encounter the two creation stories in Genesis. But what if I told you that this isn't an accident? What if these two accounts exist for a reason so profound that they reveal the very essence of who God is and how he desires to relate to us? This isn't just about conflicting tales, it's about God's masterful plan to show us his fullness. Two creation stories, two truths, woven together with the divine precision that only the Creator himself could craft. Each account reveals a piece of God's nature. One speaks of his transcendent, commanding power, while the other speaks of his intimate, personal involvement with his creation. And here's where it gets mind-blowing. Both accounts are meant to be held together. God didn't choose to have one or the other. He chose both. Why? Because we need both perspectives to fully understand him. One side of God, the creator of the cosmos, who spoke galaxies into existence, shows us the incredible power of the one who reigns over the universe. The other side, the personal God, shows us that this same creator is deeply involved in our lives, touching us, shaping us, and breathing life into us. What's more powerful than that? The God of all things is also the God of the intimate, personal touch. He is not far away, unapproachable, or detached. He is right here, walking with us in the garden of our daily lives. Imagine this. The creator of the heavens, the one who formed the stars with his breath, is the same God who breathed life into your lungs, who knows your name, who walks with you through every joy and sorrow. This isn't just a story about creation, it's a story about God's relentless pursuit of us, his desire to be both mighty and near, majestic and personal. Now, let's bring this home. You are not a mistake. You were created with a purpose. You were designed by the very hands of God, both in the grand cosmic sense and in the most intimate personal way. The two creation stories aren't just narratives. They're declarations of who you are. God created you to be a reflection of his beauty, his power, and his love. He is not just the God of the universe. He is your God, present with you, walking alongside you, and actively shaping your life. This truth is powerful. It's healing. It's life-changing. So the question becomes, how do we respond to this? How do we live in light of this divine reality? The answer is simple but profound. We lean into both aspects of God's nature. We stand in awe of his grandeur, but we also rest in the comfort of his nearness. We trust in his sovereignty, knowing he holds the universe, and we lean into his personal care, knowing that he holds us too. Think about it. The tension between Genesis 1 and Genesis 2 is the tension we live with every day. We need both, the power of God to inspire awe and the intimacy of God to heal. We need both the majesty and the closeness of God to live fully and experience his love. When life feels overwhelming, when everything seems out of control, God is not distant. He's right there. When you feel small, insignificant, or alone, remember that the God who spoke the universe into existence is the same God who breathes life into you right now. This isn't just about a creator who's far off, watching from the heavens. This is about a creator who is deeply and personally invested in you. And he wants to be with you, not just in the moments when you feel powerful and victorious, but in the quiet, broken, and humble moments too. Why did the editors of the Bible keep both creation stories? Because they reveal the fullness of who God is, a powerful, transcendent creator, and a deeply personal, relational God. They wanted us to see that God is both awe-inspiring and intimate, a balance that we, as his children, are called to experience in our lives. And when we embrace both sides of God's nature, we begin to live with a greater sense of peace, knowing that God holds the universe in his hands, and he holds us in his heart. This is a life-changing revelation. God's greatness and his nearness are not separate truths. They are the same truth. They come together to form a complete picture of who God is, and they come together to form a complete picture of who we are meant to be. Created by God, for God, and loved by God in a way that goes beyond our understanding. So, take this with you today. You are both small and significant. You are a part of something much bigger than you can imagine, and you are loved more deeply than you can comprehend. And this truth is not just for today, it's for every day. God is with you. He holds your life in his hands, just as he holds the universe. You are never alone. And with that knowledge, you can step forward into whatever comes next, knowing that the Creator of all things is by your side. This is the God who created the heavens and the earth, and he created you. Never forget that. So, how will you respond to the Creator today? Imagine this. You're standing in the middle of a vast open field. The sun is just beginning to set, casting a golden glow over everything. The breeze gently whispers through the trees, and for a moment you feel small, yet connected to something so much bigger than yourself. This is the feeling we need to capture in our understanding of God. The Creator of the universe, the one who spoke the stars into existence, wants a relationship with you. Yes, you. That truth is both overwhelming and humbling, isn't it? But here's the thing. So often we forget this incredible personal connection we can have with the Creator. We get caught up in the noise of our daily lives, lost in the hustle, the chaos, and the storms. Yet, there's a deeper truth waiting for us to discover. God is not just out there in the vast expanse of the universe. He is right here, in the breath we take, in the beating of our hearts, in every step we make. And he doesn't just want us to know him from afar. He wants to be in our lives. Genesis chapter 1 and Genesis 2 are not just stories. They are invitations. Invitations to see the fullness of who God is. The vast, powerful Creator who orders the universe with a word, and the intimate, loving Father who forms us from the dust and breathes life into our lungs. We need both of these truths, and when we grasp them fully, it changes everything. God is both mighty and near, and we can experience both of those realities in our lives. Think about the power of those words. God spoke the world into existence. That's the kind of power we're talking about. But then, he didn't stop there. He formed us from the earth, breathed life into us, and said, "It is good." Do you realize the significance of that? The Creator, the one who made the sun, moon, and stars, the one who made everything we see, he said that you are good. In a world that often tells us we are not enough, that we fall short, that we're just a speck in the grand scheme of things, God's voice rings louder. You are more than enough. You are good. You are loved beyond measure. And I know life can get hard. The weight of everything you're facing, whether it's struggles with faith, with purpose, or with just getting through the day, can seem impossible to bear. But here's the truth. God is with you. He is the same God who spoke light into darkness, the same God who parted the seas, the same God who calmed the storm. And he is with you, in your storm, in your darkness, in your struggle. That's why, even in the hardest moments, we can find hope. It's why, even when things seem impossible, we can trust that God has a plan for us. It's why we can know that we are never truly alone. The Creator of the universe, the one who holds the stars in place, is here, walking beside us, guiding us, and lifting us up. Now, you might be thinking, how does this all fit into my life? How can I experience this power, this presence, this love? It starts with knowing that God is not just a distant idea or a force far away. He is a God who is near. And when we begin to understand that, when we start to realize that we are part of this beautiful divine design, we begin to live differently. We start to see ourselves not as accidents, not as mistakes, but as purposefully created beings, crafted by the hands of God, woven into the fabric of His grand plan. But it's not just about knowing this truth, it's about living it. When we let this truth sink in, when we allow it to shape the way we see ourselves, others, and the world, we are transformed. And here's where I want to challenge you today. Do you believe this? Do you believe that you are created with purpose? That God has placed His breath in your lungs, His Spirit in your soul, and that you are part of something far greater than you could ever imagine? I'm here to tell you today you are. You are part of God's story, and that story is still unfolding. The Creator is still speaking, still moving, still working, and He is working in you. Every single step you take, God is guiding you, calling you to live out the purpose He designed for you. Don't settle for anything less than that. Don't let the world define you. Let God define you. Let His love, His power, and His presence define your life. Now, if you've felt the weight of this message today, if it has touched your heart, if you found hope and healing in these words, I want to ask you to do something. Take a moment right now to reflect on this truth. And if you've found something valuable here, if these words have brought light to your soul, I encourage you to support this journey. Every like, every comment, and every subscription goes a long way in helping us continue sharing the light of God's Word. If this video has spoken to you, if it has lifted your spirit even for just a moment, I invite you to be a part of this. Your support, whether big or small, is a gift that fuels the journey ahead. We are all in this together, and with every new video, we get closer to sharing even more truth, more hope, more love. If you feel this message in your heart, and if it's changed you today, consider supporting this journey. You have no idea how much your encouragement means. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for walking this path with us. Together, we will continue to spread light, continue to walk in purpose, and continue to glorify the God who created us all. So if you found this video meaningful, please give it a like and subscribe. Let's keep this journey going together.